Alright, here we are again. This time we will start with Cowardly Hero and a Captive Princess. Again, I suggest that you try and complete your side stories as soon as you unlock them. This side story will give us Eliza and Jessica, two more fire characters that, along with Rackham, will allow us to field an entire fire frontline. Just a couple of missions in, you will already have two of the tradable items. This is enough to get either Jessica or Eliza. Don't do what I'm doing here, get Jessica first, because Eliza will be locked out for a few quests, and even though this is just a minor inconvenience, it's still better to avoid it. Thankfully, it only takes a couple more chapters to rectify this small mistake. I think this is one of the last cases where you have to purchase the character weapon in order to unlock the character, instead of simply getting them by completing story missions. And now our fire team looks much better. During this side story, the game will put you against the dark boss. Now, we don't have any light characters nor summons, and at the moment, fire is our strongest element, so we will go with that. This boss proved to be quite a little bit of a challenge. With his high double attack rate and his 600 AoE damage every 3 turns, it didn't really go well for me. So we'll take our first loss and bag it home. And this is something new. I remember this being a 10% stacking boost for each time you lost against the boss. Apparently, they're cutting out the requirement of 9 losses for a full boost. It's way better this way. So, let's give it another try. So, we try and break it. And yeah, that was much easier. And after completing the last mission, we get some journal entries. And our nice wind spear, of course already level 100, ready to become another stat stick in our grids. So let's move on to the showdown quest to unlock the wind summon. The first boss was actually quite easy. It's the level 20 Nephthys that gave me some problems, so I decided to try running Colossus to give the boss a nice defense break and my team a shield. Even though it has a 9 turn cooldown, it might save our skin. The damage loss is actually quite noticeable, but you know, it's the turtle that wins the race.
手加減しませんよ。
フェアに行こうぜ。
ガスッといきます。絶対負けませんよ。まずいです。
I was somewhat panicking, I might as well not have used that summon.
ズドンと打ち抜いてあげます。こんなもんじゃないよ。延命竜王に極限攻撃。
覚悟はできてんだろうな。バニッシュピアス。
仕上げです。ミーネスペルファー。相手に戦術は一つではないぞ。
And remember folks, do not throw away your carbuncles. Even just for defensive purposes, a 25 boosted to 50% damage cut for 3 turns can always come in handy. Ah crap, so close. Alright, there we go. We're finally done with the first piece of difficult content in the game. And by completing it, you get some nice experience, new skill, some more weapons, and our nice 50% wind attack summon. So we're just going to pick that up and go fix our grids a little bit. The wind spear isn't actually too bad. Even though the boost to triple attack only affects the main character, we will be able to get some use out of it. The summon is also fairly decent. It comes uncapped at 3 stars and gives a nice 50% boost to wind attack, just like the fire one. But where did you come from? I'm fairly sure we never ran any Magna raids, so hold on. Okay, the mystery is solved. Apparently, this is just another gift from Cygames. In the past few days, they gave away some pendants from the Rise of the Beasts, as well as... there they are, for our loyal players. A 0-star Tiamat Omega Summon, and 2 level 100 skill level 10 Tiamat weapons. But since these are extra weapons and this giveaway might be a one-time thing, I won't be using them in this little series. And the summon 2 gets omitted. And with the next side story locked behind chapter 11, we can move on with the main quest. Just one little thing before moving forward, I want to assign different party slots to different elements. So in the party settings, scrolling all the way below, I'm going to change the icons and just put all the elements up in the party slots, with the last one being free, and I'll just put the random farm there. And now it feels a bit more like home already. Now we can move on. We're still very much lacking in the Earth character department, so MC and Wielder will have to do most of the work. And since we've maxed out every other class, we can take this opportunity to go and unlock a new one. Our next step towards unlocking the Dark Fencer is obviously the Enhancer, and it is actually quite perfect since we are already using an Earth Sword as a main hand. Now we can move on and unlock Yugen. And one little note while we get there, as you see me as I unlock new weapons, they don't actually show up in the loot collected window. That is because I set them to be automatically sold at the end of each round. Normal rarity weapons are usually kind of garbage, they aren't even that much useful to level up other weapons, so selling them is probably the best way to avoid some inventory clutter. The moment we start getting weapons that are worth leveling up, we will also start getting angel weapons to use as fodder. And with chapter 10 complete, we finally get Yugen. I would very much like to get a couple more Earth characters before having to fight Leviathan, but I believe the next ones are locked behind the chapter 13 side story. In the meantime, we'll just get Catalina's new skill and move on. I will eventually have to go through all of these, both for crystals and eventually the new skills. And on our way to Leviathan, we managed to max out the Enhancer as well. That makes the requirement for the Arcana Dueler complete, so let's go and unlock our first Bro 2 class. All in all, it's just 200 class points. And there we have our nice red Arcana Dueler. And with chapter 11 complete, we can finally start working on the Dark Giant of the Blue Sea. But I'm afraid I've got my side stories mixed up. This one is Sigs, not Jins. So yeah, let's get one more water character before moving on. This is another weird side story, giving you a water character but pitting you against a dark boss. And again, fire is probably our best bet for it.
大丈夫さ、心配無用だ。仕上げです。ミーネスペルサー。ズドンと打ち抜いてあげます。
Okay, despite Rakam getting blown out as usual, the fight went fairly well.
私に打ち抜けないものはありません。
So we get one more dark weapon and one more dark summon. And we can consider this done. Our next side story is going to be unlocked at chapter 14, and we finally start getting a wind and a dark character. So you go pick the albacore up, pick our albacore blade up, but sadly both the blade and the summon have awful skills, so we're just going to put them in the grid as stat sticks. Now we should have a bit better stats to face Leviathan. Too bad we didn't get a 50% Earth attack summon. And that was easy enough. So we get our Leviathan dagger, and most importantly we unlock two new side stories, which will both give us Earth characters. Balmy Breeze and the Foamy Deep will also come with Ebisu, a 50% water attack summon. Blade of the Unchampion instead only comes with a summon that boosts water attack and healing by 25%, but still I will welcome the Earth character. For now we will stop here. In the next part we will take a look at the Lumacy archipelago and try to complete all three the new side stories, as well as give a look at the new event. The side stories are starting to get a bit overwhelming, hopefully we can keep up with them. And considering the cut event ends in less than a week, the next part will probably come out a bit earlier. See you then!